For our guest today, we're honored to have Secretary Strickland of the Louisiana Veteran Affairs Office, and he's here to continue with, I guess you can say, part two. And let's hope him the best to give us enough information to where he can really help us all. Secretary, nice to have you on board.
Thank you, Greg. It's good to see you again.
Yes.
The last time we met, we were talking about the programs that the Department of Veterans Affairs offers.
Right.
And we were talking about, I believe, if I recall, we were talking about our outreach effort.
Right, right.
And we have I want to start out by talking about that. We have a very vigorous outreach program. We go to all of the we support all of our service organizations like the American Legion, the VFW. I'm always there. I always bring greetings. I bring all of those veteran organizations up to date. But one of our biggest concerns, Greg, is how to reach out to the younger veterans.
The millennials.
The millennials, yes. Because they are a different generation. They don't join the Legion, the VFW as much as the World War II, Korea, Vietnam era.
Yeah, well, I think what it is that as a DVOP working with the state, I found that when we went out into Louisiana to do workshops and seminars, millennials never came.
Exactly.
They're with the computer.
Yes.
So even though we went around the state, we got maybe 5 to 10, and usually with people that are in our age bracket, they're on the computer. Technology is killing them. So we try to find a way of reaching them, okay? And we found a way, at least to some part, like with Veterans Corner, they may be able to get it on their iPad or iPhone or whatever. That's another way of reaching them. So anything that we can do to make that happen for the millennials, but that's a different breed altogether.
Yeah, it's a different generation.
And,
yeah. They grew up where you and I grew up with Pac-Man.
Yeah.
They grew up with computers, and now Twitter and Instagram and all of this other stuff that I've had to, in my old age, I've had to learn. And it usually makes me laugh a little bit because now it's like a reverse process.
Yes.
I have to go to my kids and say, how do you do
oh, yeah,
this?
we've done that already.
Yeah, can you fix my cell phone? And they'll look at me and they'll say, oh, Dad.
Yes,
But how do I reach out as secretary to that group, and how do I make sure that they have jobs? I have two big concerns. Number one, a young veteran coming off of active duty, U.S. Army, Marines, whatever, Air Force, they're coming. They may have had 2 or 3 tours in Iraq,
right,
or Afghanistan, so they're tired.
Yes.
They have a wife. They may have one child. My feeling as secretary is that if I know where they're at, and if I can help them secure a job within the civilian community, if I can help them address their post-traumatic and TBI issues with the VA Medical Center, then chances are I can help that veteran get on his feet, stay on his feet,
right,
and take care of his family.
Yes.
Because a veteran coming off of active duty, you're retired military, I am too. We both know, what do young veterans need? They need a job, they need transportation, they need a home.
Yes.
And if we can make sure that they get those 4 things, then even if there's some issues between the husband and wife, that'll stabilize their situation.
If they become more
secure. They become more secure.
Yeah, right,
That's
right.
a very good analogy.
Yes.
And they can make their relationship work. And that's what we want.
Well, I know with the young veterans that's coming in, Veterans Corner is trying to take a different approach by interviewing employers rather than employers. I'm not knocking job fairs, don't get me wrong.
No, I understand.
But they see about 100 people, and about maybe 5% might get hired. But by interviewing them, they have an opportunity to reach not just 100, but the thousands.
Exactly.
So Veterans Corner is performing, I believe, to be a very progressive service that we are providing the community, and it also opens up to other avenues, I guess you can say, because we do have other programs that we get involved in. In fact, I'm getting involved in right now with a home mortgage program. It's a start, but that will fall underneath Veterans Corner as well. I'm also going to introduce to be certified to do business with the federal government for businesses who want to do that. I do have one of my colleagues, Mr. Charles Etienne,
Yes.
and he does that. So I mean, we do bring something to the table. And what you're telling me, for millennials, they need all the help they can get.
Yeah, they really do.
Okay.
And
I hate to stop you right there, but this is going to end our first segment. We are back with Secretary Strickland, and hopefully he will continue where he left off.
Greg, we were talking about our youth, our newest generation of veterans, and our goal is to ensure that when they come home from serving, especially overseas, that they have housing, they have jobs, yes. They have access to medical care. But first, we have to know where they're at, and so it's programs like yours that I think is going to help us reach out to those young men and women, because hopefully they can look you up, yes. on their cell phone
yes.
and hear us and then reach out. And I want all young veterans and their spouses to reach out to us.
Right.
Call me personally and let us know what your concerns are if you need some help. And one of the concerns also that I have, and I think you've addressed it in the last meeting that we had, it's not enough to have job fairs.
Right.
We have got to educate the civilian community, the corporations out there, that hiring a veteran is a good investment.
Yes, it is.
They bring discipline to the job, they bring skills, and generally they're not going to take a job and quit on you the next day. They're going to stay.
All right. Yes,
they're going to
yes.
stay with you, and so we encourage our civilian community to reach out to our veterans in the community.
Yes.
And because the Department of Veterans Affairs can't do everything, we have to have community support.
Right.
And we have to have the support of our service organizations and everybody that loves a veteran. And I think everybody that I've ever come across in Louisiana loves veterans, mm-hmm. because their dad, their granddad, or their great-granddad.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a history of service in our state.
Yes, yes.
And so we're going to continue to reach out. We have 30,000 women veterans in Louisiana, and now women veterans serve in all areas of the military.
Right.
It's not like when you and I first came in, where women were nurses or secretaries.
Right, they're in combat today.
Yeah, they're in combat today, and they are real warriors, and women have won Bronze Stars and Silver Stars out there, and we need to take care of those women, and they bring a whole new spectrum of issues to the table.
Right.
They not only do they bring TBI and combat wounds and PTSD, but unfortunately, they bring, in many cases, sexual trauma issues that need to be addressed.
Yes.
And they need to be addressed with dignity and understanding.
Because I know one time as a DVOP, the mother of a young woman came back from Iraq, and her mother told me she's not the same person. She does not talk. She's quiet. She's to herself. I said, "Can you help?" I said, "Look, all I can do is offer my hand to her from one comrade to another." So she came in. I closed the door and I said, "Whatever goes on in this office stays here." And she just opened up. veterans helping veterans.
Right.
And we need to also get that involved, not get involved, but we need to get that into our veteran mentality, that we just don't ask the government. We help our friends. We help our comrades. We do whatever we can for each other. You know?
I have, I think in the years that I've been Director and Secretary of Veterans Affairs, I'm pretty well known throughout the state. I have a lot of friends who call me personally on my cell phone, and they'll bring a veteran to my attention. And that's what I like, because then I know who to go to make sure that that veteran is taken care of. Or when one of our legislators call me, I can immediately use my resources to take care of the veteran. And so I encourage folks to call us. Now we do have our communications director is Miss Alex Wan, former Air Force captain. She's also a trained sexual trauma counselor.
Okay.
So if there's a young female veteran out there that needs some help, please call Alex Wan here at the department, and
or contact Veterans Corner. We'll make sure.
Or contact Veterans Corner, and Greg, I'm sure you'll get that person in touch with Alex.
Yeah.
But we do offer that. Now I'd like to kind of swing away from that and talk a little bit about our veterans homes.
Okay.
Louisiana in the last 10, 15 years embarked on a very dedicated mission to build 4 additional veterans homes. When I say additional, it's in addition to the old home that we have at Jackson, Louisiana, our first home.
Okay.
Our first home's about 30 years old. But we built, since the Foster administration, and I had the honor of building 3 of them.
Okay. That's
good. I built the homes at Bossier, Jennings, and Reserve.
Okay.
And I was so proud of that. And I also had the honor of building the first state veteran cemetery in the state of Louisiana, and that's up in Keithville near Barksdale.
Okay.
And Shreveport.
Right, right.
And now we have 3 additional cemeteries, and we have all 5 veterans homes. But veterans homes, people think of a veterans home as a place where our elderly veterans go to live. They do, but it also reaches out to younger veterans, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Okay. This is going to end this segment. We're back with Secretary Strickland, and he will pick up where he left off. So it's on you, Mr. Secretary.
We were talking in the last segment, Greg, about our veterans homes.
Right.
We have 4 state-of-the-art homes. We have one in Bossier City, absolutely beautiful. They have the grounds on all of our homes look like college campuses. They have fishing ponds with piers, with just the grounds are just beautiful. We like to say that our veterans homes are places where veterans and their spouses, because spouses can live there too.
Yeah, okay.
It's a place where our veterans go to live, not to die.
Okay. It's like a little piece of heaven for them on the side.
And we offer a quality of life that no civilian nursing home can match.
Right.
I mean,
I was not aware of that. I really wasn't.
We have barbecues, we have fishing rodeos, we have fish fries, we have computer labs, we have the community involved. We have church services. We just do so much for our veterans. We have special programs on Veteran and Memorial Day, obviously. And when a veteran does pass away at our homes, the whole staff lines the hallway, and that casket is covered with the American flag.
Yes.
And as that veteran is wheeled out to the hearse, everybody in that hallway stands either saluting or with their hands over their heart.
Right.
And what a way to go.
Huh.
You know, honor that veteran his last moments.
Yeah.
And then that honor continues as he goes to one of our state veteran cemeteries. Yeah. But our homes are not just for elderly veterans. We have a number of younger veterans that live there, that because of combat wounds suffered in Iraq or Afghanistan, may have had a stroke, and they're wheelchair bound.
Right.
You know, it's hard for the families to take care of them. And so they live at our home, and we have doctors and nurses around the clock that take care of our veterans. And we also have rehabilitation services in every one of our homes.
Right, right.
That offer rehab services for our veterans.
Well, it's a lot of veterans don't have the information you're sharing.
Exactly.
Only within a little small community, but we're looking at Louisiana.
We are looking at Louisiana. We have homes, again, in Bossier, Monroe. We have a beautiful home in Jennings. We have an equally beautiful home in Reserve.
Okay.
And then our oldest home in Jackson.
Jackson.
And
when you say Jackson Barracks?
No,
Jackson.
That's a good question. Jackson, Louisiana, which is over by Clinton.
Okay.
It's in a rural setting, but it sits on 80 acres. It has 2 fishing ponds.
Okay. I didn't want to get people to get mixed up.
No.
Either Jackson's Barrack down there.
No, not Jackson Barrack. This is Jackson, Louisiana, near
Right,
Clinton.
right.
Not too far from Baton Rouge, about 30 miles. And state of the art.
That's
And
good.
it's an older facility, but it's well kept and well maintained.
Well, we need to have some place where veterans can go.
And
I hate to say this, but we're losing our World War II veterans
we are.
on a daily basis. I don't know how many are dying, but they are slowly leaving very quickly.
They're leaving quickly. The average age of our World War II veterans now is probably about 89 to 90.
Yeah.
And you know, my dad, I'm in my 60s. My dad was a World War II veteran. He's long gone.
Yeah.
And so the greatest cohort of veterans, the largest group now is our generation
Right.
in Vietnam,
Yeah.
followed by Desert Storm and Iraq, Afghanistan. And so they'll, unfortunately, as long as we are a nation that believes in freedom, we'll always have veterans.
Yeah. And I really am somewhat frustrated to hear how some of the American citizens are disrespecting the flag, disrespecting the veteran, and it's like a mentality of you owe me,
Yes.
and I just can't see that.
I have a problem with that as well. I like most veterans, I believe in freedom of speech and things like that.
Yes.
But I don't think the flag as a symbol of our nation has anything to do with freedom of speech. I think it's a symbol of honor and sacrifice that's been paid since the
Right.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And to see our flag disrespected, I think all of us understand that not only do people's lives matter, you know, the Black Lives Matter thing.
Yes.
All lives matter.
Right.
Black lives matter. Hispanic lives matter. American lives matter. But so do police.
Yeah.
And to use the flag as a symbol to protest certain political issues, to me, I think is not right.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
Well, I mean, that's my personal
Yeah,
opinion
my
as
personal
well.
opinion.
But I just hope that the veterans out there will understand that when there's an opportunity to help another veteran, be there for them if you can.
Yeah, you know, veterans as a group, when we're in the military, we fight for our flag, we fight for our country. When we were killed in combat, the flag covers our casket,
Yes.
bringing us home.
Yes, and I hate to say this is going to end the show.